Hey, this is Cherie King, the creator and author of Bradelocks, and I want to welcome you to this video, our Bradelocks for You. Okay, now I understand that you may be contemplating locking your hair and doing so with braidlocks, and you have some questions. Okay, you have some concerns. You want to know if they're going to look right on you, if they're going to fit into your lifestyle, your place of work, things like that. Will they work for your hair texture? And I'm here to, kind of help answer those questions for you. Just a little bit about myself. I started my braidlocks journey back in the early 2000s, and I have had them ever since. Now, I did have one period of time after about almost 10 years that I had done some things to my hair, okay, over the years, and combined them, made them really thick, and I liked it at that time, but then after a while, I kind of got tired of that look and I wanted them back, the way they look now, thinner and fuller and things like that. And so I ended up taking that first set down again, like I said, after about almost 10 years. And I left my hair loose for a little while, played with it, and then I said to myself, okay, this is getting old. I have gotten spoiled by the freedom of having my braid locks. And so I put them back in. And this is my second set, which has actually been in 9 years, okay, almost 10 years. So this is, they would have been a lot longer than this, but sometimes I like to cut on them a little bit. But they have grown back out, from the time that I cut them. You can see, how long they are. Okay. So yeah, these are my new set of braid locks, and they have been the ultimate freedom, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm talking about no more relaxers, no more chemicals, aside from maybe some hair color here and there, but no more chemical relaxers, no more having to worry about touch ups and, my scalp burning and um, heat damage from straighteners and pressing combs and curling irons and things like that. No more fear of going out in the rain. I mean, I live in Washington State right now and it's raining like cats and dogs right now. Back in the day, I would have been pissed off about that because, hey, I don't want to get my hair wet, my freshly done hair or whatever. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can practically get up and go. Okay, I get up in the morning, I sleep on a satin pillowcase and my hair is really get up and go. I mean, I might toss it a little bit, maybe spritz it with some, water mixed with essential oils or whatever. And, I don't do that all the time. But yeah, it's just really carefree hair. Okay. So, of course, locking in and of itself comes with its own challenges, but nothing compared to, back in the day when I had to do all that other stuff. And the other thing is that, yeah, there's going to be some maintenance involved. Okay, like this is a twist out. Okay, it's not going to just naturally be curly like this. If you want, wavy hair like this, then, you're going to have to do a twist out or a braid out or do some kind of a roller set or a rod set or whatever. You will have to maintain your roots, tighten the roots and stuff, unless you want to free form and just let them grow and you just separate them. But anyway, I don't want to get into too much of that, but I'm just letting you know that, braid locks for me, like I said, have been the ultimate freedom, the ultimate hair freedom. Okay. And so I really implore you to listen closely to what I have to say in this presentation. And then at the end, make an informed, educated decision for yourself whether or not braid locks are indeed for you. Okay. So let's get started. Okay. So what exactly are braid locks? Well, braid locks are locks, as in dreadlocks, or whatever phrase you choose to use. I know some people don't like that term, but locks, dreadlocks, whatever. And they're maintained using a special interlocking technique as opposed to using gels, beeswax, and other sticky, gooey products like that. What, if anything, is the difference between braid locks and braid locks? Well, these two terms are quite often used interchangeably, and in the most basic sense, there really is no difference. However, like braid locks are locks that are started with braids, but they can be maintained using pretty much any method. Okay, you can palm roll your roots, you can interlock them, or you can even free form where you're not really doing anything except maybe separating them when they try to join together. Okay. Are braid locks a cheaper alternative to sister locks? Well, I really don't care to market braid locks as a cheaper alternative to sister locks, okay? I don't even really like to compare the two. But many tend to come to that conclusion all on their own, which is all well and fine, but just keep something in mind. Braid locks are braid locks, and sister locks are sister locks. And yes, there is a difference. But if it's simply the small, tightly woven look that you're going after, braid locks will definitely fit the bill for you. Why do you call them permanent braids? Well, I came up with that concept of permanent braids because, for one, technically that's what they are. You know, we're braiding or plaiting our hair and then they're staying in, they're permanent, right? And I thought about the fact that many women are constantly getting their braids put in, taken out, put in again, and over like a cycle. And over time, especially if you're getting it done too tightly, plus too frequently, this can definitely cause trauma to your hair follicles. But braid locks are braids that you put in one time and leave them in to become permanent braids. Less hassle, less risk of damage. Can I really do these myself or will I need assistance? Well, the Braid Locks Guide was written as a DIY or do it yourself guide so that you can do it yourself. However, whether or not you'll need assistance is going to depend on a few things. First, it's going to depend on whether or not you can braid your own hair or braid, period. It's also going to depend on whether or not you have any physical conditions that may prevent you from having your arms up for extended periods of time. It'll depend on how meticulous you want your sections to be parted. And it's going to depend on whether or not you have the patience for it. I mean, some people just don't want to do it themselves. And so, although I did my own hair and many others have done their own, you may feel like it'll be a big challenge to do it yourself. Therefore, you'll want to enlist the aid of someone else. Is there anyone in my area who can start and help me maintain my braid locks? Currently, there aren't any trained certified Bradelocks technicians yet, but there will be. Okay. In the meantime, all you need is someone who can braid or plait your hair well enough to help you get started, along with the Bradelocks guide for instruction. All you'll do is simply print out a copy of the sizing chart located in the guide and instruct the person assisting you to make your sections according to your specifications based on the chart. I know they're permanent braids, but can braid locks be taken down? Locks, whether they're braid locks or any other type of locks, are meant to be a permanent style. However, yes, locks can be taken down, including braid locks. But before you start doing a happy dance, be aware that it's a very tedious process, okay? It can take anywhere from a week to a month. I can't remember exactly how long it took me, but because I just, started doing them and, I would have to let my arms rest. I mean, I don't think I've ever been able to do more than three in one sitting or one day, okay? Because it just takes so long to take some type of a sharp tool like a push pin or whatever, a blunt needle, and just pick it apart. I mean, it takes forever, okay? And not only that, but picking your locks apart like that could potentially cause damage to your hair because in essence you're shredding the strands as you're picking them apart like that, right? Because your hair is all compacted in there into the lock and it's combined with shed hair that has shed because normally we shed on average 120 hairs per day. So when you're locked, that hair is not being shed out, it's being contained in the lock. So you're going to see a lot of that, but you're also possibly shredding your own hair that's still attached to your head, okay? So those are some things to think about when thinking about the possibilities of taking locks down, okay? It is a process. I honestly, if I had it to do over, I wouldn't go that route again. And my what I would probably do, and my advice to anyone, in that regard, is to probably just allow the locks to grow out, okay, without tightening the roots or retwisting or re-interlocking or anything like that. Just let it grow out. It's going to be, a little bushy or whatever. And maybe just do like twist outs and braid outs, or keep it pulled back or pulled up in a bun or a ponytail or whatever as it's growing out. And then once it gets to a suitable length, then cut them out. Okay, cut the locks off, and at the point where the loose hair ends. Okay, the hair that you haven't retwisted or whatever, similar to when transitioning from relaxed hair to natural hair. How you grow your natural hair out and you have the straight relaxed ends, and so eventually over time that gets cut off. Well, it will be the same concept, or you could always just shave it off. Can braid locks be done with extensions? Truthfully, the concept of braid locks was designed for use with one's own hair. And even back in my days as a hairstylist, I never really got into doing braid extensions. Therefore, I can't honestly say that I have experience using them to start locks. However, I have heard of women starting their locks with extensions, most of which indicated that they ended up having the extensions removed a lot sooner than they originally intended. So they would get them put in thinking that they were going to keep them in for, at least 6 months to a year, but they would end up getting them removed like maybe about 2 to 3 months down the line. Okay. And that's the thing with the whole thought of using extensions, is that because I don't have experience with that, I wouldn't be able to tell you like how to take them out. Would you have to like unbraid them? Would it be safe to cut? I guess that would depend on how much of your hair is in the extension, how long your hair is, things like that. So those are the things that you have to take into consideration. And if you're going to do it with extensions, then my advice to you would be to wait until your hair is long enough, okay, to just do it with your own hair. But if you like need to grow your hair out some, then wear extensions as a temporary style as your hair grows out. And then once it gets to a suitable length, then get them removed and just go ahead and do the braid locks with your own hair. Otherwise, if you choose to use extensions, do so at your own discretion, okay? Can braid locks be started on straight hair? All right, well, I'm very, very cautious with implying that they can be done on straight hair, because I know and I realize they're going to unravel a lot, probably. However, I have seen people indicate that they used small rubber bands to hold their hair in place, okay, little bands on the ends. And this may or may not be aesthetically pleasing. And while I've never done braid locks on straight hair myself personally, one of my customers, my ebook customers, shared with me, this was a long time ago, but she had emailed me and let me know that she actually started braid locks on her naturally straight hair. She was successful with it. She used the bands on the ends, and then after a while, I can't remember exactly how long it was, when she sent me the pictures, which regretfully I've lost them. I really hate that I did, but her hair was beautiful. I was like so highly impressed when I saw it. So again, use your own discretion, okay? I work in a professional environment. Will braid locks fit in? Okay, braid locks can most definitely fit into your work environment. You'll be able to style them nicely and, have them looking, curly styles. You can pull them back if you need to, put them in a bun, whatever you need to do in order to maintain your professional image at work or anywhere else. I am very active. Will braid locks work for me and my active lifestyle? Braid locks can fit quite well into active lifestyles because braids are one of those locking methods. There's comb coils, there's two-strand twists, and things like that. And braids are one of the methods that tends to hold up a lot more under pressure, provided your hair texture and length is going to allow the braids to stay in. Okay, so let's just be realistic. We know that there are some textures of hair that if you braid it up, they're going to slip out. Okay, they will not hold up. Again, you might have to look into the rubber band thing, but again, that might not be too aesthetically pleasing to you. It just really depends on your preference. Okay, But if the length of your hair is not too short, I always typically recommend having at least 4 inches of hair, okay, for best results. Um, so yeah, if you have an active lifestyle where you're doing a lot, um, you're swimming, you're working out and sweating a lot, things like that. Typically, braid locks will work very well with that lifestyle. Are braid locks for women only? No, not at all. Braid locks can be worn by women and men. Okay, my husband has worn them in the past, and he currently has a new set now. And both my sons have them as well. And I've also had plenty of male clients back when I used to do hair braid locks as a service, and I've had male ebook customers too. Are braid locks good for children? Yes. Braid locks are excellent for children and teens. They can be age appropriately styled. So if you have like a young one, a little girl, and you want her to still wear the hair bows and the baubles and barrettes and things like that, you can definitely do that. Okay. And then again, like I said, my sons have had them and have them currently, and they're very nice, on young men. Currently my youngest son, he has his in, but the sides and the back, we shave it and fade it out and stuff like that, so it looks a little more modern. But yes, definitely braid locks are great for children, especially if you have a child who is tender-headed, won't even let you near them with a comb or a brush or whatever. Because I dealt with that with my daughters. They cried every time I did their hair, no matter how gentle I tried to be. So yeah, braid locks would definitely be a great option. All right, I get why braid locks might be for me, but why the braid locks guide? Okay, well, the guide is going to give you all the information you need to successfully start and maintain your braid locks. And as the innovator of this technique, I'm equipped to educate you based on my many, many years of experience, not only doing them on myself, but also doing them for others. Okay. All right, what if I have questions that weren't addressed in this video? If you have a question that wasn't answered here, you can email me at cherie@braidlocks.com with your question, and I'll do my best to answer it. However, if you've gotten all your questions answered and you're ready to get started, go on ahead and click the link below to order the Braid Locks Guide now. Thanks for watching.